There we go.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see all your happy faces. Okay. I'd like to start off by setting an intention and saying a prayer. If you care to join me, that's fine. If not, just share your energy. Mother, Father, God, we are so grateful to be together, to be encouraging and upbuilding each other, to be listening to the lesson for anything that we feel like we can use and disregard that does not apply to us. We are so grateful for this opportunity to buy out time from our busy lives, set aside time for our own spiritual growth, and so it is. So it is. Okay, so this is our last night as far as a lesson about love is concerned. So I wanted to talk, and I know that at least one of you has been to my workshop on twin flames and split hearts and soulmates. So that's basically what I'm going to talk about tonight, but in a very condensed version of that. And I know a lot of people have some very definite ideas about what that is, and I'm hoping that maybe when you leave today, you'll walk away with something that will spark a different kind of idea about that. So the first thing I'm going to do is ask you if, in fact, you have ever met somebody and felt like you had met your soulmate.
More than once.
Okay. More than once, yeah, I'm sure you have. And how many of you have ever had a relationship with somebody and felt like you had met your twin flame? Okay. How many of you have met somebody and felt like you had met your split apart? Do you know what that is?
It's all the same person.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. Okay. So yeah, these ideas in a very general sense are depicted as a very similar thing. So your soulmate, your twin flame, your split apart, they are seen by us as basically the same thing. That person who has been meant for us to be with and that we connect to, maybe for lifetimes, or maybe there's just this intense vibrational connectedness that we have never had with another human being. The reality is that we have misconstrued these concepts. And so a soulmate is, I have many soulmates. In fact, everybody in this room is my soulmate.
Yeah.
So how does that happen?
Because we're in a soul group.
That happens because we belong to a soul group. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we have to understand is that love is love. The way that we experience it is different for each and every relationship that we have based on our allowing, but love is just love. It's a vibration. It's something that we share with people. It's something we share with all the people that we come in contact with, I hope, on some level. So when you run into that person that you have an intimate romantic relationship with, that you feel like, oh, this is the person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with and all of eternity with. Chances are probably not. But that doesn't change the fact that they are your soulmate. Well, how does that work? Well, that works because the universe, as we know, works for us, right? Things don't happen to us, they happen for us. So when we run into this person and we have these incredible experience, this different kind of intensity that we've never had before, that helps us to explore the depths of our own love that we have to share with others. And it helps us to learn an awful lot about ourselves and the way that we interact with people on that level. It does not mean that that person is that lost part of you, because guess what? There is no lost part of you. You are whole and you are complete in and on your own. You are not a split apart. There is not, if you're female, there is not a definite male version of you walking around somewhere that is meant to be your other half to make you whole. Because guess what? Some of us don't like men. So that's kind of, that defeats that whole thing right there. And the same thing for women. It's like, yeah, no, I don't think so, my friend. I don't think so. So, yeah, that being the case, it doesn't even make sense. Now, if there's a part of your soul that's missing, that you're going to find in another person, then that's saying that somehow you are not created properly. And we know that's not true, right? Because we are all whole and unique and special, and we are all vessels of Holy Spirit. So how can it be that something is missing inside me? The only thing that's missing inside you is your realization that you're whole and that you are connected and that you don't need another person to fulfill you. In fact, that other person is supposed to enrich your experience, not fulfill what you didn't have, but enrich what you already have. You're already whole and healed and well. So this is going to raise your vibration. They raise your vibration, not bring it up to standard. That would be very sad. This is as good as it gets right there. So I think that that's part of the problem that we have with the whole concept of soulmates, is that there's this romantic version of it, this, for lack of a word, vanilla version. You know, the I don't really know what that is, but I've heard the term before, and soulmate means the person that I'm supposed to be with forever. Well, forever is a relative term. There are people in our lives that spend time with us, you know, for long periods of time, for 20, 30 years, and something happens, and your vibration shifts, your awareness shifts, your attention shifts, you're no longer moving towards the same goals, and then that relationship ends. It doesn't have to be an ugly thing. In fact, it should be a very pleasant, civil thing. Because as a metaphysical person who is practicing metaphysical spirituality, you should be aware of these concepts and say, hey, this person I had wonderful memories with, I shared this intense, wonderful relationship with, and now that relationship is over, and we no longer serve each other's best and highest good, but there's no reason for me to hate them, or to wish them harm, or to be ugly, or to be angry, or to be mean. There's no reason. You should wish them well, right? This is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you thought completed you at some point, right? So why would you be mean to them now? Because they're not doing what you want them to do, or because they're not doing what you expect them to do?
Expectations.
Yeah. So this is the problem with these kinds of concepts in our mind. What is a soulmate? A soulmate is somebody who travels within your soul group. So we are all soulmates. A twin flame is an entirely different kind of concept. And this is somebody who is the reflection, your mirror reflection of yourself. That can be anybody. In my case, quite often, it's my mom. So that sounds kind of crazy. Well, wait a minute. How can your mom be your twin flame? Because there's a lot of things that go on between us that help us to look at each other and to look at ourselves in a completely different light. So mom says something to me, and I'm like, I didn't like that she said that to me. And then I go away from her, and I don't talk to her for a couple of days, and then I think about what she said. And I think to myself, you know what, she was right. I don't really like it, but that's the way it is. So those kinds of relationships are really powerful in our lives. And we can all relate to that, because there's always that somebody that you kind of love intensely, but you butt heads with and ideas with. And yet when you walk away from that, if you're awakened, and we all are, then you walk away from that and go, oh my gosh, how incredibly enriching that relationship is in my life, how powerful it is in my life. And it really gives me an opportunity to reflect, which is what that whole concept of a twin flame is. It gives you an opportunity to reflect on yourself and your behavior, your energy, your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. So when we're talking about twin flames, clearly that's a completely different concept than probably some of us had ever really thought of a twin flame as, right? You know, we always think of somebody as a potential mate as your twin flame, but not necessarily. It can be your child, it can be your friend, it can be your mom. A split apart is an old mythology that somehow we were divided in the beginning of time. And we're always searching all of our life for the other half of ourselves. So what that says is that when we were born, we were flawed. We were separated from part of ourselves that is essential to our happiness. What about those of us who never find our split apart? Does that mean that we just live a lonely experience?
Half-assed.
In destitute separateness from my own wholeness. That's so sad. That is such a sad story. And we know that that's not what Spirit has in mind for us, right? Because it's all about happiness. The whole experience is supposed to be about trying to find your happiness, trying to find that place where you're balanced, where you're comfortable, where you're full, where you're free, and your best version, your most authentic self, right? So you can't be that if part of you is separate from yourself constantly, and that's your whole purpose, is to look for this lost separate self. And I'm not saying that any mythology is good or bad. It's just what it is. It's a story. It's a story so that it explains why we yearn, why we long for companionship. Well, we long for companionship because it adds to our story. And then we have someone to share. God bless you. We have someone to share our experiences and our story and our love and our struggles and our challenges and our great joy and bliss with. So in that way, we look for people to share that with. But we can share that with a friend and be just as satisfied as a partner. Just because you don't have a sexual partner in your life doesn't mean that you are lonely. And being alone is not the same as being lonely. I'm sorry?
I said I have a dog.
That's awesome. I have 2 dogs.
Yeah, I talk to them all the
I
time.
love
I got a
them.
guinea pig.
Yeah, there you go.
That's very good.
Me too, me too.
I got a pillow.
That's good too.
I got 5.
Okay too. Hey, guess what? Pillows never argue.
Nope.
That's right.
Dogs always forgive you. Did you ever step on your dog?
Yeah, it's
And they never hold it against you? They still come and get petted. People, sometimes they hold that against you when you step on them. Just saying.
Yeah, they don't like that.
They won't bite you sometimes, though.
Sometimes.
I guess that's conditional love.
Yeah.
Don't step on me.
Don't step on them. So these ideas I just wanted to kind of share with you, and of course I'm going to get that deeply involved in the details of it all. There's a workshop that I do based on this information, but I wanted to kind of just touch on those ideas because we're talking about love, and we talked about, you know, the esoteric kind of love, and I wanted to talk about the physicalness of our expression of love as well. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is how we express love with other people and being respectful and kind and generous with ourselves. Being better listeners. And that's really important. So if you have a partner, if you have somebody in your life every single day that shares your dwelling with you, I think it's really important that you, as a practitioner of metaphysical spirituality, understand that the first people that you should be sharing and behaving and practicing these behaviors with is your significant other. And quite often, unfortunately, it's the other way around. We can be really compassionate and kind and generous and affectionate and sweet to strangers. But when we go home after a hard day's work, what's the first thing we do? We dump on our mate.
Vent.
Run over the neighboring
Or
parking lot.
Right. Or we say, oh, yeah, whatever the situation is, complain or vent or whatever. And we're really not practicing those principles in our lives, in our personal, intimate lives, that we should be practicing overall. So it's really not how you look. We don't care how you look. I don't care how you look. I don't care if you look like you're being compassionate or not. You know what I care about? If you're being compassionate or not. It's not about how things look. And quite often that's what we do as human beings. You know, we want to look generous, we want to look kind, we want to look affectionate, we want to look compassionate, we want to look loving. Look at how loving I am. Have a blessed day. But when we're actually practicing those ideas, are we being selfish? Are we really looking out for ourselves, or are we vulnerable? Are we honest with our feelings? And are we honest in the way that we behave with others? And that's a hard question. Those are hard questions to answer, but these are the questions that we ask when we're doing the work. So, isn't that so fun? So, oh boy, I just laid it all these things to ask yourself on the line. But it is important. That's what we're in the business of, being self-analytical. You know, we're in the business of looking at ourselves and saying, hey, what's going on there? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? We shouldn't be walking around blindly bumping into walls. We all should be past that at this point and have a better idea of who we are. And the primary concern is being honest with yourself, which is a very difficult thing to do sometimes. So with love in my heart to all my soulmates, I leave that with you with its blessing. I'll entertain questions. Go ahead, Peter.
When you're saying that, the first thing that I was thinking of is, what do I do? And I always try and be honest and sincere and humble.
That's great. That's a great way to be. And that's being vulnerable, you know, being honest and being sincere and saying, you know, this is how I feel. Sometimes it's difficult to say, this is how I feel, if you know the other person is going to be hurt by your saying, this is how I feel. But they're going to appreciate that you're being honest above and beyond being hurt. Because if you don't tell them, then you're going to hurt them anyway. So that is an excellent behavior. Does anybody else have a question?
Yeah, I got one.
Sure.
So, you know, I have a twin.
Excellent.
Her title is Twin Lynn. And I don't know what she is.
She's your twin.
She's my twin. Okay.
So really it depends on how you relate to your twin. And most twins have very special relationships. But I've heard people say, I've known quite a few pairs of twins in my life. And I think that all of them had very unique relationships with each other. Sometimes even to the point where they would purposely not ever dress alike, and you know, they would really make a huge effort to be separate from that other person.
To be unique.
But they weren't really that separate from them. That's why they felt like they had to outwardly display this, because they felt very connected to that person. And then I've known other twins that dress alike and talk alike. They got pregnant at the same time. I mean, they do everything. They got married at the same time, same kind of guys. They do everything the same for a living. They spend every waking minute together. So I think it just depends on the vibration of that twin. And sometimes, even though you were born from the same womb, you have different life experiences. You know, she went her way, you went your way. And sometimes those experiences change your vibration. Is she your soulmate? Yes, she's your sister, whether she was your twin or not. So people in your soul group are your mother, your father, your sisters, your brothers, your aunts, your uncles. All those people are connected to you. And we believe from life to life, they continue to follow you in that soul group. You change roles quite often. You know, a father becomes a mother, or a brother, or a sister, or a cousin, a lover. They change roles because souls are energy. They move from place to place. But they still travel in the same group with you. That's why we all ended up together. This is our soul tribe. So they're not my immediate soul group, but you're in my soul tribe. So no matter where you were going, I was going to find you anyway. You can't get away. There's nowhere to hide.
You can run, but you can't hide.
You can run, but you can't hide. So does that answer your question? Yeah, she is your soulmate. And so, Joy, did you have a question?
I was just going to say there's a very good explanation that is not real long in the book Love Signs by Linda Goodman.
Yeah, no.
And the first 13 chapters is better than the whole book, and it explains really in detail,
Right.
but it's not voluminous. So it might be something, you know, someone would be
If they're interested in learning a little bit more
Yeah.
about it, absolutely. And next time I offer the workshop, I will definitely let everybody know. So if that's something you want to know a little bit more about, you can come and take the workshop and share your experiences and find out how often other people have very similar experiences. You'd be surprised. So, okay, good. All right, leave that with you, Pete's blessing. And we're going to do a meditation. So if everybody would like to put their feet flat on the floor. Would you play I Am for me? If you can.
Is that this Dyer?
Take your time. Yeah, it's Wayne Dyer. Thank you. Everybody take a nice deep breath. Put your feet on the floor. Try and relax your mind. Oh, I'm sorry, you have the meditation
Yeah.
tonight. That's right, you do. I completely forgot.
Didn't know if you wanted me to.
No, I'm very happy to have you do the meditation. Do you need music or are you gonna play your own?
What you're doing is just fine.
Excellent. Reverend Vicki Lynn.
Thank you, Sylvia. You should have said something, Vicki Lynn.
Music?
Yep, music's perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, so if you could all get comfortable, if you want to put your feet on the floor, that's fine. If you want to put your hands on your lap, that's fine. However comfortable. Can you hear me great? Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Trying to get into the microphone just a little bit more for everybody. Because tonight we're going to work on the heart chakra. I think that being the time of the month in February and love, I think that the heart chakra would be a good area for us all to work on. So if everybody could take a nice deep breath for me. And exhale. And go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale. Take a nice deep breath again. And exhale. Imagine energy around your heart as it's beating very gently. Beautiful green aura is coming around your heart chakra. And you allow this energy to grow because the heart symbolizes health and prosperity and abundance. And allow that energy to grow inside of you. And as this energy grows into a beautiful green aura, allow it to go into the thymus glands and allow this energy to flow inside of you. And as this energy is flowing, allow yourself to float up into the room. Where you're floating up and we're all floating together. And as we're all floating here together in this energy within this room, we're going to call upon the angels, the archangels of love. The archangels of love are the angels that can help us with love and so many things within our lives. And the first archangel of love is going to be Michael. Michael is the one who presides over guidance, perfection, clearing, and ensuring that we are healthy in relationships, and he protects us. We're also going to call upon Archangel Joseph, who beautifies us inside now. We're also going to call upon Archangel Chamuel. And when we call on Chamuel, we're going to ask Chamuel to guide us to find whatever it is that we want and what we're seeking, including romance and partnerships. We're going to call upon Archangel Raphael. Raphael is the one who helps our hearts heal from the past. It helps us to stay open and present of future love and present. We're also going to call upon the fifth angel, the fifth archangel, Raguel, who installs harmony within the relationships and ensuring peaceful interactions and communications within love. Like a friend, angels tell you the truth. The best way to have romance in your life is through attraction. The joyful laughter of self-expression, the body language of your self-expression and your body language is the most beautiful part about you. So now that we're floating in the room and we have these archangels, and we're going to call upon our guides to come into us with us. And we're going to imagine ourselves floating into a park. And in this park, we're going to have some beautiful sunshine. And what a beautiful day it is. And we're going to smell some roses. All around us is this beautiful rose garden. And you can smell the most beautiful fragrance of roses that are coming around us. And we hear this beautiful stream running nearby. And we're going to affirm that you are loved, and that you are lovable, and that you are a loving, kind person, and that your greatest gift is the warmth that you put out, the warmth of the romantic relationship. And you're going to imagine yourself being in a relationship with a partner, or the partner that you already have. Because the law of attraction is that your inner self, your inner worth, and the person that you are inside is your greatest gift, is your inner beauty that you have, as well as your outer beauty and your body language that you possess. And that is who you are. And you will draw romantic love to you through your own attractive nature, because we're all beautiful in God's will and way of love, that we were all designed because you're perfect by nature. So we're just going to take a minute and just smell the roses and smell the love and smell everything that's around us with the stream, and enjoy and bask in that beautiful sunlight for a second. And we're going to breathe in and then breathe out. So we're going to back away from our partner and say, thank you very much. We love you. And we're going to connect. We're going to now ground and balance. And we're going to start coming back into our bodies. And as the park is disappearing, we're going to come back in feeling refreshed. Feeling refreshed to this wonderful journey that we've taken upon ourselves, knowing that these archangels are going to be with us, that we're going to have protection, we're going to have love, we're going to have love of ourselves, and we're going to be the most loving, kind person that we can be for ourselves and for the people who love us around us. So when you're ready, take a deep breath, and then let it out. Another deep breath. And then let it out. And then allow yourself to come back into your body and move your hands around. And then you can open your eyes when you're ready. Mother, Father God, thank you for all the wonderful blessings and this adventure journey that we've all gone on. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Dickerman. That was wonderful. Way better than I could have done, that's for sure. What I thought we might do is, for our healing portion of the service this evening, the meeting this evening, is I'm going to set up some chairs, and I'm going to double set up the chairs. So be working with a partner, and we're going to be doing our healing that way this evening. So if you would just place some meditation music for us, or some healing music. I'm going to turn the lights down a little bit, and I'm going to turn off our stream. Thank you guys for joining us on Facebook.
Woohoo!